Wind Jutsu. What is going on, everybody? Jim here today, and I am talking about Katsu the Wanderer, also known as the Lord of Wind, uh, the main ninja that we have in the game of Flesh and Blood right now, as far as classic constructed. And the reason why I want to talk about Katsu in the current meta, in the Everfest meta, is because I played him recently at my local Pro Quest, going 4-2 in Swiss, just missing the top 8. I finished, I think, 12th. And I want to talk about the deck I brought to the event and then how I can see myself improving on the deck moving forward in this current meta that we have. And I also want to talk about it because I love hearing your feedback and suggestions. I am not the know-all Katsu player. I dabble with a lot of different characters at times. Even though he is a hero that I really enjoy playing, I'm always willing to listen to new suggestions and feedback. So I'm going to kind of go through my list, talk about what's in there, how I like to play it, the utilization of each card or aspect that I see, and then we'll move on to my updated version that I've kind of adjusted to after the event and how I think it could perform a little bit better moving forward. So with that being said, you can see here I have it split into two sections. I have it as the main deck and then what I have in the sideboard. And so just showing you on the right side of the list here is the sideboard. And it's a rather large sideboard of cards. And so we are obviously always playing our two harmonized Kodachis. Our Fendel Spring Tunic is always our chess piece. And the Mask of Momentum is always our headpiece. And then as far as the other equipment that I have that I decide on when I see my opponent, I have a No Rune Gloves. And originally I had this for the Viserai matchup. If I ran into a Kano, I figured I would just try to kill him before he kills me. And I don't even know if I would run a Null Rune. I would just, get gassed, or gas him before he can gas me. I have Snapdragon Scalers on for the matchups that I want to be extremely aggressive, probably just trading damage each round, again, trying to kill them before they kill me. And then we have our Breeze Rider Boots. There's a lot of Dominate going on right now, and against Starvo and Prism sometimes when she does the Herald that has Dominate, Erudition. I like to play the Breeze Rider Boots, using the ability on the boots only if it comes up, never forcing it and never banking on it. It's there as like a flex option. And then Breaking Scales is 90% of our games, 99% of our games is going to be our arms. Outstanding, obviously very good. So that's the equipment that I have in the deck. Again, I probably, if it's an aggressive matchup and you want to outpace your opponent and you don't think you need that block from the Breeze Rider Boots, you're opting to go with the Snapdragon Scalers. They provide so much flexibility in Katsu. And then even if you're playing against a Viz, the smart thing is probably to have the Null Rune one and go with the Null Rune Gloves, or you can just opt to throw the Snapdragon Scalers on and use the Breaking Scales and try to kill Viserai before he kills you. Even though that means you're going to be taking some Arcane from times. You'll be changing damage back and forth if you're not getting rid of your hand often. So let's talk about some of the cards that were in the main list when I ran this deck at the event. You'll see I have 3 Command and Conquers. I was always running the 3 Command and Conquers just because of how easy it is for Katsu to be able to still have a good hand when you might need to block, and being able to pitch a blue 0 Kodachi for 1 Command and Conquer. If you have your Tunic resource, you can Kodachi, Command and Conquer. You can. It's just such a good card that threatens so many decks. And threat. It's obviously there's nothing I need to say about Command and Conquer that you don't already know. But I was running it in the main deck. Moving forward, I think it's going to be in my sideboard. Um, because it kind of underperforms against Starvo, in my opinion. He cycles it out, or not. He cycles his Arsenal card out with the Crown of Seeds, and it really makes Command and Conquer feel underwhelming. That he's not scared of the effect. And then after they do the cycle with the Crown of Seeds, they'll usually just take the 5 damage instead of the 6. And then you haven't really threatened or done anything scary that turn. So it probably would come out moving forward and be in the sideboard. 3 Enlightened Strikes are always in my deck. And then the main combo line that I'm running is our Surging, Whelming, Mugenshi, Lord of Wind line. So I am running 6 Surging Strikes, 3 reds and 3 yellows. Such a great card. The auto go again is wonderful. The 2 blocks stinks, but like I said, you're trading damage most of the time and trying to be aggressive. So you're not blocking often. This card is our bread and butter in this deck, and it's what gets the party started. So Surging, I think some people will run 5. I like to run all 6. I'm going to skip over. We're just going to go to the rest of the Surging line. We have 3 red Whelming Gust Waves and 3 yellow Whelming Gust Waves, which is an awesome card. Nothing I need to say about it that you don't already know. It threatens with an on-hit draw. It gives you the go again if you play it after Surging Strike. It's a 0 cost. It's something you can go and search up with Katsu's ability. Very good card. 3 Mugenshi Release. Don't need to say anything else. You guys know this combo line by now. And then 3 Lord of Wind. That's our main combo line. All of those cards are in every single matchup, every single time. Then I like to call my secondary combo line, or my secondary source of damage and flexing to be able to discard a 0, go search up things, provide me with resources. It does a lot here. Our 100 wins. I'm a big fan of this card. Obviously, the reds in the blues feel like it's a natural fit, whereas the reds are just so good value. 3 auto go again. It's a 0 cost. If you can pair it with another 100 wins, or go even search for another 100 wins if you have Winds of Eternity in your hand, it's awesome. Great card, does everything that Ninja wants to. Is a 0 cost, has combo on it, so it can be bumped up by Flick Flack to defend for 4 instead of 2. Auto go again. It's kind of like poking more Kodachi damage, and if they take it, which it feels bad blocking a 2 or 3 or getting a card out of their hand. If they do, you have go again anyway, so they're not stopping any go agains. And then if they do let it hit, you can go and search. So it's a very flexible card. I was running all 9. I kind of like how it felt running all 9. In the future, can I see myself taking out the yellows and experimenting with just the reds and blues? Absolutely. I enjoyed playing all 9. I didn't feel like it hindered me at all. If anything, like I said, it led to some flexibility, in my opinion. And then my little third, or my baby combo line, you'll see a lot of people. I'm a little weird. You'll see a lot of people play the leg tap rising knee, and then they'll have maybe 1 blackout kick or 1 hurricane technique. I opted to go with the Torrent of Tempo Rushing River into a Break Tide line. It's like a small combo baby line. I never really force it, but if it happens, it happens, and it's pretty awesome because you have your Torrent of Tempo. Excuse my air conditioner, you can hear it in the background, but you have Torrent of Tempo, and for those of you who don't know, it's a 5 attack, and if it hits, go again. Well, you have 3 razors, which we'll talk about, that can get this to hit. You have also now, even bigger than that, which is an excellent card, because if you're not familiar with even bigger than that, it's a new card from Everfest. Play even bigger than that, only if you have dealt damage this turn. Opt 3, then reveal the top card of your deck. If it has damage greater than the amount of damage you've dealt this turn, create a Quicken token and draw a card. So you could, because the Rushing River line has all 0 costs except for the Torrent of Tempo itself, 1 blue, you can pitch that blue. You can Kodachi for 1. If they take it, great. If not, Kodachi again. If they take it, great. If not, and then play an even bigger than that if you have it in hand or in arsenal, whatever it may be. Create that Quicken token, then play your Torrent of Tempo with your last resource, and no matter if they block it or not, it's going to have go again. So whereas in the past, Torrent of Tempo was scary because if they block it down, it doesn't have go again, you can't finish the combo line, it's not as good. And if you're playing against someone who's ninja savvy, they will just block this card out and stop your turn, unless obviously you respond with a razor or some sort. So even bigger than that gives us another way to work around the fact that Torrent of Tempo doesn't have a natural go again, and that you kind of have to earn it. But I really do like the combo of Torrent of Tempo into a Rushing River into this new card, Breaktide. And if you're not familiar with what Breaktide does, it's if Rushing River or Flood Force was the last attack this combat chain, Breaktide gains +3 Dominate. And when Breaktide hits, banish the top card of your deck until the end of your next turn. You may play it. So they give you, you can either play it that turn or the end of next turn. So it's giving you a 5, or if you arsenaled a 6-card hand for a future turn, and that's outstanding for what Ninja wants. Ninja wants cards. We want ways to get combo pieces. We want ways to do additional damage. And so Breaktide is great. The games where I have gotten Breaktide off, it feels amazing. And like I said, this is not our main combo line. We're focusing on our Surgings, our Whelmings, Magenshis, and Lord of Wind, with our 100 Winds as our support, with the Winds of Eternity. I'm sorry, I skipped over Winds of Eternity. We'll talk about it in a second. And then you have our Torrent, Rushing River, Breaktide as like our third option, where you don't need to necessarily force it, but there are times in the game where you will be able to search up that Breaktide. If you have a Torrent of Tempo or a Rushing River or whatever the situation may be, if you have the Breaktide in your hand, you need to go find a Rushing River. It's a great combo that feels awesome when you get it to work. And sorry I skipped over Winds of Eternity that goes with our 100 Winds. Because our 100 Winds combo off themselves, the end piece to that is Winds of Eternity, which is a new Majestic for Ninja combo. If 100 Winds was the last attack this combat chain, Winds of Eternity gains +2. And when this hits, shuffle all cards named 100 Winds you own on the combat chain into your deck. So it gives us our 100 Winds back into the deck if they let this 4 damage hit. And then we also love this card. It blocks for 3. It's a blue pitch 0, and it has the keyword combo. And it does 2 damage. So Ninja, this is a great card for Katsu. So happy Winds of Eternity came out. I love 100 Winds and Winds of Eternity. I can't express it enough. If you haven't tried it out yet, throw it in your deck and just feel it and play with it and see how it feels to you. So then you can see that the only other card left in our main deck are 2 blue Fine Centers, and I was just doing that so that I made sure I had enough blue pitch 0 cost cards with combo in case I needed to, have Flick Flax or whatnot in my deck. So that was the main core of the deck. I'm pretty sure it was, off the top of my head, if we have 52 cards here, -2 is 50, minus these 2 is like 48 card core, and then we can add in 12 cards per matchup as we see fit from our sideboard. And so then in the sideboard, you see I have 3 Ancestral Empowerment, Great Ninja Attack Reaction. Like I said, in most matchups, I'm going to be aggressive, so I want to play the Ancestral. In most matchups, I'm going to be aggressive, so I want to play my even bigger than that. Downfall being that it doesn't have any block value, and you can get stuck a turn. If you are playing against a Starvo where it feels really bad to not be able to block. but a lot of the times he's dominating you anyway. So if you did head to block, you can use another card in your hand. 3 Flick Flacks, just too good to pass up. Must be in your sideboard. I had 3 Nourishing Emptiness because I was scared of Prism, and I wanted to be able to run 6 power attacks with the Command and Conquers and the Nourishings. When I play tested against Prism, it was like a 50-50 matchup. There'd be times where if I played smart and I was able to control the aura pace and hit back occasionally and control the auras and hit back occasionally and be patient and pop a couple heralds at times, I would be able to win. And I felt like I wanted Nourishing just in case. I'm a little bit more cautious with the six power cards. I don't like just having the 3 Command and Conquers because I like playing the Command and Conquers from time to time, even if it is against a Prism, and because Prism will Arsenal cards, and Ryan played a lot of Prism in testing, and I felt like having 6 power attacks was beneficial. We have our Razor Reflex. We're playing this in most matchups because we want to be aggressive. No Rune Gloves, I touched on that before. That's for Viserai. 3 Sink Belows, 3 Snatches, 3 Unmovables, and that rounds out the sideboard. So what I was doing for most matchups was probably just going in with 3 Ancestrals, 3 even bigger than that. That's 6 of the 12. 3 Razor Reflexes, and depending on if I was playing against what character, maybe just 3 Flick Flags. If not, and I wanted to be purely aggressive, it would be the 3 Snatch. But I can't sit here and tell you every single character this is my recommendations. Yeah, I have it written down in my notes for the event because that's what I felt was best for me. But you gotta have to play and test and do your own testing with this to really feel that out, because Dory Axes is a popular deck right now. Flick Flack feels great into that, but I also would like to have my Sink Belows. There's a lot of time where they spill blood and they dominate. Sometimes it even feels good against Starvo to be able to shut down a Hammer Swing and a Frostbite with just a defense reaction. So it depends how you want to see this moving forward. Unmovables are obviously in there for all the Guardian right now and Starvo. Moving forward, I think I would even, or I'll show you my updated list because I've increased the amount of Unmovables because Guardian was doing such a good job of just kicking my butt. And I think because of our amount of blue 0 cards, we don't mind having Unmovables because they're easily affordable. And then on our turn, we're still able to, if we were to pitch a blue and play an Unmovable, hopefully out of Arsenal, if not out of hand, we still, with 2 cards fighting back, we're as Ninja, we can still have some flexibility there by Kodaching and pitching and possibly playing a card and just pushing and forcing some damage their way. So that was the original version, and I'll link that in the video description. I called it Name of the Wind as a shout out to the book of the same title by Patrick Rothfuss in one of my favorite series, the King Killer Chronicles. Because Katsu is, the Lord of the Wind, and with all these 100 winds and surging strikes and whelming gust waves, we're getting really windy up in here, and so that was the theme of the deck, with a little bit of wetness too. So very stormy ninja. And then this list is my updated version going forward. Sorry, Breeze Rider should be in the sideboard. So same as before. Same core equipment, except now you'll see Command and Conquers, depending on matchup, can come in and out. That's a sideboarded card. For the most part, you'll look at the core and you'll see everything's the same, except I added an additional Break Tide. There were times I would find myself, since I only had 1 Break Tide, I might have had to block with it or couldn't search it up at the time. So I like running 2. It's a 0 cost yellow. Sure, it's not a 0 cost blue, but it does a lot of things we like. It has combo, it blocks for 3. So I didn't see any harm in increasing it to 2. I also upped my find center to a third find center because I felt like I mentioned with the unmovables, I just want to have a high count of blue pitch cards, specifically blue pitch zero cost cards. Um, in the sideboard, you can see I have the Ancestrals the same. I moved Command and Conquers to the sideboard. Are even bigger than that. It's the same Flick Flags. I added 2 yellow Razors because I think if I want to be aggressive, like I said in the previous video with running Torrent of Tempo and sometimes banking on our Torrent to Rushing River to get to Break Tide line, we want to be able to push over the top with that Torrent of Tempo. And so if we are going to be aggressive and keep cards in our hand, there could be a case to run more than 3 Razor Reflex in a matchup. So right now I'm testing out 2 additional yellow Razors, and I got rid of the Snatches. And you can see that Sink Belows are the same, and I got 3 red unmovables like last time and 2 yellows. Just because Starvo was such a pain, I feel like moving forward, that's going to help. You can also see I got rid of the Nourishing Emptiness. So we switched out 3 Nourishing Emptiness and 3 Snatch, added a Break Tide, a Fine Center, a Razor Reflex, yellow, and then with the other 3, a Razor Reflex yellow and 2 yellow unmovables. So very small changes. This is what I'm going to test moving forward and see how I like it. Like I said, I know that it's probably not the most consistent option and list out there. Probably instead of running the Rushing River and Break Tides, you can still make a case for Torrent of Tempo, but it's probably smarter to play the Leg Tap Rising Knee Thrust line. I just like to be a little different and experiment differently. Some people don't know or are not as familiar with the Wet Ninja line, as some people call it. So, or I think that's what they call it with all these water cards. So that's my Katsu list right now in Everfest. I really enjoy playing this character, but I also need help. I'm not an expert. So if you do have suggestions, or you're like, hey, you're missing this, or maybe have you ever thought about this aspect of playing Katsu right now, please leave comments and suggest things on our video. Go check out Sam's deck tech. Sam won the entire ProQuest event with Briar. He did an awesome job. Mark did a deck tech with me on his Chain, who he made the top 8. Mark's always making top 8s with Chain. And yeah, so we're putting a lot of content up. We're really enjoying the game right now. And I look forward to hearing from you. So take care. And until next time, this is Jim from the Round Table of Wraith saying peace out.